everyone, welcome to the Sticks and Bricks Texas channel. This is going to be our final home build series, and this is our first real video to introduce ourselves and kind of what the project's going to be all about. If you saw our very first video that we put out, it was basically just a flyover of the vacant lot that we actually purchased, and so we're going to be building on that lot. But I just want to kind of give you a little bit of background information about who we are, what we're doing, and kind of what the future of this channel is going to be. So first of all, my name's David and my wife is Brenda, and so this channel, Sticks and Bricks Texas, is going to be a channel that hopefully we will continue along the way for a few years at least. One of the first video series is this, our final home build, and what it is we've purchased some land and we're going to be building a custom home there, and we want to follow that from the very beginning of the vacant lot all the way to the point of doing the excavation, setting the forms, pouring the foundation, drilling the water well. I'm going to have a workshop beside it as well. We'll go through and show you the electrical, the plumbing. I'm going to run the low voltage wiring in the house, so I'll show you, me doing that. We'll also go through and show the drywall. We'll do the trim carpenter, the whole 9 yards, all the way from start to finish. So the intent is I'm going to put out a couple of videos here, just kind of get you up to date on where we stand with things. And then if I can, I'm going to do one a week, or at least one every couple of weeks, depending upon the progress of the project. But just a little bit of background, back in 2020, when Brenda and I were still working, we were talking about what we wanted to do when we retire. And one of those things is we wanted to get away from where we were currently working and living and find another place where we could have our home built, have a little bit more land, and just kind of enjoy the rest of our lives. She looks around on the internet a lot. She looks at houses, she looks at all kinds of projects to do and things along that line, and she saw some land that was for sale up here in north central Texas. And so one of the weekends when I was able to get away, I came up and drove up here and went and looked at several different properties, and I came across one that I thought was the ideal situation for us. So told her about it, took some video, took some pictures of it, went back home, we discussed it, we made an offer on it and purchased that land, and with the intent that we would be building a house. Now again, this was back in 2020, right when the pandemic hit. We were very fortunate. We were able to buy the land, 5 acres, for a significantly, what I would say, reduced price. And we may get into all the prices and such later as we get through the project. But right now, let me just say that we got a really good deal. So we went ahead and purchased the land. We went ahead and continued to work as we've been doing. And then last year, we both ended up retiring. We sold our property down where we were living in South Texas and moved up here into a little home that we also have local here. It's just a small little 2-bedroom home, 115 years old. And we've been living in it while this house is getting built. Through those times of the years while we were going ahead and continuing to work, I would come up periodically and I would mow the 5 acres, had a tractor, and I would get out and I would mow, take me about 5 or 6 hours or so, get it finished, and then drive back home. Fast forward, last year, like I say, we retired and we finally decided that we wanted to move forward. Long story short, we found a builder, found a plan, and that's where we are today. So while we are going to be going detailed through this project and showing you different things, we'll also talk a little bit. I'll try to get Brenda to get on some of the videos and explain a little bit of her thought process as far as design. One of the things about me is I'm a little bit on the color deficient side, and I don't always see colors properly. And so I pretty much told her that she's the designer and she runs things by me, and I either say yes or I say no. And generally speaking, I'd say yes, unless it's just something I just can't, tolerate for the future. But otherwise, it's pretty much all up to her as far as the design, as far as colors and tile and things along that line. But anyway, so that's kind of where we are. I'll show you a few pictures and kind of show you what the lot looks like. And then I'll kind of, do some overdubbing, kind of tell you a little bit about the property and kind of what we're doing there as well. And like I say, hopefully the first video then is going to be us actually breaking ground, and I hope everybody will stick around and like, subscribe, and share this video and all the ones that we put out. I'm not a professional videographer, of course, and so I'm just going to kind of struggle my way through things until we get all the way to the end. Hopefully I'll get better as we go along, but I'll stumble over my words sometimes. I may say the wrong thing now and then, but I do want to encourage everybody, if you have comments, please feel free to leave them down below. If at all possible, I'll try to answer them. If you have suggestions along the way, if it's something that we hadn't thought about and we like, who knows, maybe we'll put it into the project as we move forward. But again, we're just excited to get started, and hoping that everybody will kind of follow along with us. Like I say, we would certainly appreciate it if you'd like all of our videos, if you would share them, if you'll give the thumbs up, if you'll ring the notification bell, subscribe to our channel. If you subscribe, then of course that'll get us moved up in all the algorithms, and maybe more and more people get to see what we're doing and come along with us. Just a side note for the future, once this project, as far as getting the house is complete, I'm hoping that we'll continue. I enjoy doing woodworking, so part of this project is I'm going to have a 30 by 50 workshop, and so I'm going to try to make a separate little series of videos just on the construction of the workshop. And then once everything is finished, we've moved into the house and we've kind of got things settled, I hope that I can put out some videos of some different projects that I work on. And then Brenda is intending to do some gardening and do some other little projects. I'm anticipating we're going to be putting in a fence. We're going to be trying to do some brickwork ourselves, put some columns out by the front driveway. Just lots of different tasks. So sticks and bricks comes into play, because sticks, putting up the house, and my continued woodworking. Bricks, we're building the house out of brick and stone, and who knows what else we'll be using brick and stone for as well. But once again, we appreciate you tuning in, and we hope you all continue to watch and like our videos. And let's get into some of the video on the property itself and get you going down the line. So I've got some video here, or just some different pictures that let you kind of see a little bit about the land. These first few pictures were from back whenever I first drove by the property and saw what it looked like. You can see that it's pretty wide open out there. There's not a whole lot. At the time when I went by, there was quite a bit of grass. It had all grown up. I don't think it had ever been really maintained for quite some time. And this shot was kind of when I was standing there looking back toward the street. This looks back down toward the back of the property. You just kind of can see that it's nothing but just a bunch of little scrub trees and some better trees, lots of grass, bushes, things along that line. Just different views. And of course, Brenda and I, this was our picture whenever we went to visit the property after we actually closed. This is back down toward the creek. There's a small creek back there. It doesn't really have a lot of water. It's pretty much just runoff whenever we have heavy rains and such. There's no chance of us ever getting flooded. You can kind of see, this is from the very back of the property, how the property falls off toward the back. And then this was whenever I mowed for the first time. Kind of got out there, got things cut down so we get a little better view of the lot. Of course, couldn't get around all the trees. Here I am after I had mowed for the first time. It was probably around the middle of the summer. It's pretty warm. Some more video of just after having mowed. Also, while I was there, I did a little trimming up around some of the trees. Not very many of them. There's just so many trees, and there's a lot of scrub brush and stuff around them. This is actually our honeybees that we have on the property. And so part of the thing is we have an ag exemption for our bees. There's my truck and the tractor. And then of course I got a picture of me as I was driving the tractor and mowing that day. Another shot of the honeybees, a little bit better. You can see, you've got to have 6 hives at least in order to have your exemption. So they're kind of tucked back in some of the trees there in the bushes so that nobody would see them or bother them. Another view back in the very back, looking over our neighbor's gate going to his property. This is another shot at a different time when I'd mowed. It looks a lot cleaner and everything after it's mowed, of course. You can see by the trees that there's not any really leaves. This was late in the fall after the leaves had primarily fallen off, but it needed to be mowed for one last time that season. Have some mesquite trees there on the property. We got those pretty much taken out already when we did our excavation. That's what that one tree that's kind of scraggly in the front there is. Another shot from the very back when we're just kind of looking around the property. And that pretty much kind of takes care of it. Again, like I say, that's the property in a nutshell, 5 acres. It's very deep. It runs about 600 to 700 feet deep on both sides. We're going to be setting the house where it faces due west. That way our back patio will be on the east side, and that's also where the family room and the kitchen, dining area will be. So in the mornings we'll have lots of sunshine coming in, and then as the sun gets higher in the sky, those back patios will get into shade. And there's very few windows on the front of the house, so won't be affecting us as far as the late summer sun coming in and cooking the inside of the house. But that's kind of where we are right now. We'll be putting out another video that has the excavation, and then, like I say, we'll also have the water well drilling and different things in regard to setting up forms and so forth. So again, I know I mentioned before, but we would certainly appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, give us thumbs up, click on the notification bell, tell your friends and family about us. Like I say, we're going to try to put out lots of videos that show the process as we go through the entire building of our house. And again, like the name of the series, our final home build, this is our retirement home. This is where we plan to stay until we either have to go to a nursing home, heaven forbid, or we die. So this is our final home build, and we're going to try to make it the best project that we can, and we'd love for everybody to come along with us. So again, until the next time, we appreciate you tuning in and watching, and we'll see you guys later.